Welcome to another episode of Drive Into the Res
with your favorite hostesses. Wait a minute. Hosts. How can you trick me like that again? Larry and Inelia.
Yay!
I do have a question. Why is it okay to say hosts? And it's perfectly fine. But if we say hostesses, I get my rile up.
Because it's all girls if it's hostesses.
And hosts is either one.
No, it's all men, but girls don't care.
Girls don't care? They don't get their riles up?
No.
Why is that?
Because...
Because. Just because.
Because, yeah, just because.
So, okay. Well, you can see we have an interesting setup in our planet, right?
Yeah.
Host is fine, but hostesses is only for girls.
Yeah.
Do girls set the rules or what?
Actually, that's not so far from the truth, because it's usually women who educate children, and that's how they carry the culture forward. So, yeah.
So it's the women. So we're not going to say it's the women to blame, because there's no blame. But women have a lot of power.
Yeah, they do.
In the way that the culture moves forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Amount, yeah.
That makes sense because most children are raised by their mother, especially in their young formative ages. Not to say that dads don't.
Teachers,
it's just...
And most teachers.
Yeah, and most teachers are women too.
Exactly.
Which isn't to say that all, but majority. I remember most of my teachers were women.
Yeah.
Seemed like until I got to high school, and then it switched.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I was thinking the same.
Yeah, I don't know why, but...
Most of the indoctrination happens between 3 and 12
Think about it
anyway.
this way, in the women in primary school ages, that's the most formative ages anyways. They're all in there, and you felt like, oh, you can't wait to go see your teacher, you're excited to go to school. Then by high school, you're starting to get into the, not everyone, some of them, starting to get into the age of, I'm done with school, I want to go to work, go do this, go to travel, go to smoke cigarettes in the backyard, or whatever, you know? And the teachers are more men, and the men had less of a, I guess, nurturing kind of like, I can't wait to go see my teacher kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And more of a, you do X, Y, Z, makes Z, Y, Z.
Yeah.
So it was a less nurturing and more...
practical, maybe? No.
I guess...
Indoctrinated?
It's like moved you into the space of moving out.
It moved you from emotion to intellect.
I was thinking more along the lines of when it was time to graduate from school, you were ready to leave.
Yeah.
And you slowly went from a nurturing environment to, I guess, more demanding environment that was less holding you in. So you were ready to go when you graduated.
More independent, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's like, in a sense, less mom type energy and more dad type energy. It's like, okay, guys, time to go to work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the breaking up thing. Conflicts and breakups.
All that noise is our giant dogs playing outside. Just saying.
If you hear any noises.
If you hear any noises, it's our giant dogs.
Anything
outside.
that sounds like a ferocious growl or a clonk.
Yeah.
Because we
or
have
an elephant running through the room.
Or an elephant. We have a toddler puppy who's needs constant attention. And Lucy,
you'll give him that
she's
attention.
She's a 3-year-old Akbash, giant.
She's 2, actually.
2-year-old Akbash, she's giant. And she's the boss of him, at least for now.
Yeah.
Keeps some manners.
Yep.
Well, impossible task, but...
Yeah. She does her best.
She does her best all the time.
And in doggy language, that sounds really scary, actually. When she growls.
So, it's an interesting corollary. I just was talking about with the school,
Teenagers.
Going from nurturing and motherly energy to a fatherly and less nurturing. Not the same. You didn't feel the same going to school. I didn't anyway. I don't know about you, but...
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I was reading about. I think it was that the conflicts, like teenage guys might have with their dads or moms, might have with their daughters when they get to the teenage years, because it's not absolutely uncommon. It happens. It might not just be the dad's tired of the teenagers laying around all day or staying up all night. Oh yeah, that's it, remember? Teenagers, I was trying to remember where and why that happened. Teenagers like to stay up all night. Not all, most of them.
Yeah.
They like to
I know
get
I
up.
did.
I did too. Get up late afternoon, stay up all night till 3 or 4 in the morning. The birds come up. It's like, that's bedtime.
Breakfast and then go to sleep.
And that causes tension in a house. At least it did in mine.
Yeah, definitely.
And now in our house, Brett likes to sleep.
Yeah.
Most of the day, and he loves to stay up most of the night.
I know, it's so weird.
Right.
It's like going back to toddlers, because I remember my toddlers, trying to get them to go to sleep right now was an absolute nightmare. Impossible.
That's when they want to play.
Oh my gosh. And then in the mornings, right, this is what happened, and I knew it was going to happen. They would be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, wanting to play, until they started school. And then you couldn't get him up in the morning at all. I mean, from the first week of school, it was like over. Like, well, you love getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. No, I don't want to get up.
Nuts.
Yeah. Which is interesting because one of the theories of indoctrination where you want to program people and they model the educational system on the being able to control animals, dogs in particular, but other animals too. The first thing they would do was to separate them from their parents during the day, put them in somewhere without stimulation for hours on end, so they get terribly bored, and then send them back at night. That's what they do at schools, right?
Well, not exactly, but they do separate them from their parents, and then they create a substitute nurture. So the teachers become their new parents, yeah. And they become the authority. So there's a shift in authority to there. Yeah. And then when it's time for them to go out, you still have your parents are authority, but as you get into your later teen years and you're in school, you have less of the nurturing energy and more of the let's get to business energy, plus the stay up all night energy. It's like you get pushed out of your house if you're a teenager because your parents, you need to come home and eat dinner at a regular hour and quit staying out all night playing and doing whatever you're doing, up to no good, I'm sure. Which probably was mostly right, but maybe not for everybody, but certainly for a few people. I don't know about myself, but yeah, probably me too. Not no good bad, no good fun.
I used to go for car rides,
Yeah, car rides are great.
Yeah, middle of the night.
That's excellent. But parents don't feel the same. No. And teenagers definitely don't feel the same when their parents say you can't.
Right.
But that conflict creates the time to move so that you can do your own thing without getting harassed about it anymore. Same with school. Like, the energy changes, that it's time for you to get out of school. Although, sometimes you just go to more school.
Right.
But oftentimes there's those of us at a certain working class, I guess. We're like, I'm ready to go to work. Right. I'm tired of wasting my time in school.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like a natural progression of it. The conflict makes it easier to separate.
Yes. I remember there was this girl in high school, and she was from a very working class family. They were, I think, she came from a long line of dinner ladies from school, right? Dinner ladies. I have
no idea what a dinner lady is, okay. But I can guess.
So in English education, you have like a cafeteria, and the people who run the cafeteria are called the dinner ladies. They cook everything and they serve it. And this girl, she was in my class, and at the time I had mathematics still in my brain, so I was in the very, very advanced mathematics class, and so was she. Well, she wasn't. So she was in the regular class, and the teacher had been trying to recruit her for the advanced class forever, and she refused to go until I spoke with her. I befriended her and convinced her to go to the other class. And
what's that crawling up the tree?
What?
See that crawling up the tree?
There's something crawling on the tree.
It looks like a giant spider, like big as a mouse.
I don't see
it goes like this. Now it's up past where you can see it. Sorry to interrupt your story, but that looked like an alien crawling up the tree, honey.
Okay. There's an alien crawling up our tree. Perfect.
A mouse-sized alien.
Mouse-sized alien.
Mice don't crawl trees like that.
Squirrels do.
Yeah, but that wasn't a squirrel. It's black.
Okay.
Sorry,
anyways, education. And I convinced her, right? And so she joined the advanced class. And she instantly became the best person. Why? Because she was a mathematical genius. This girl was a mathematical genius. There was no question about it. And it didn't matter how advanced the mathematics that the teacher was teaching. She would get it instantly and she would have to look at a formula once, and then she could apply it to anything that you could possibly imagine, right? And twist it and turn it and do other things, make it dance, She used to make mathematics dance. And so I was really pleased, and, we became friends, and she was like, every day she would I think I'm going to quit the mathematics class, right? And I was like, no, don't do it. And the teacher would try to convince her to stay. And eventually, one semester was over and the next semester was starting and she was gone. And the teacher looked at me and said, where's your friend, blah, blah, where is she? And I said, I don't know. So break time, I went to find her, and she had changed to, from the mathematics class to a work experience. She was working in the kitchens in the school as a dinner lady. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why did you give up on the mathematics class? And she said, mathematics is all very nice and entertaining, but I can't cook with it. I can't feed my children with it. I can't do anything with it. And I was like, I couldn't believe that she was saying that to me, I just could not believe it. And I'm like, okay, I said, you're not, stupid. I said the word stupid. You're not stupid. With a mathematics degree, with the level of mathematics you can do, you could become a professor, you could work as a mathematician with all sorts of industry areas. I mean, the world needs mathematicians, because that's the way I'd been brought up, mathematics, because most of my parents were mathematicians, and I was really good at it. And it was and all societies need mathematicians. That was the belief, right? And she looks at me and she said, working is more than just about how much money you can bring home. She said, if I went to university and I got a lot of money, I wouldn't fit into my family anymore. And my family is most important, my mom and dad and my brothers and sisters. And I want to grow up and live with them. I want to live near them, in a house near them, and everybody to understand everybody else. And if I did that, if I went to university, I wouldn't be understood by anyone. And I was like, whoa, she really is a genius, because she chose the cultural language over the pressures of being good in school and getting a good job or making money. For her culture, right? Because in England the culture of working class is I'm working class, I'm proud of it. That's the type of energy. And her culture was still the extended family culture of the working classes in the 1980s. And she didn't want to lose that, and she didn't want to innately lose it. She didn't want to be excluded from it. And she did feel that if she went to university or continue with a mathematics career, she would lose it. And she said, and plus I'm very, very happy here. This is what I've always wanted to be. I wanted to be a cook. So what, you want to be a dinner lady? In my mind, right? You want to be a dinner lady the entire life. And she kind of just looked at me and shook her head. It's like, you just don't get it.
Well, it's just like we were watching on that weirdest show in the world that we were watching, where Rebecca Shit Shoveler doesn't want to do that. She wants to be a doctor or whatever. But if she does that, then she leaves her family, so she'd rather go back to shit shoveling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar, yeah.
But that's part of that class society that
it is.
It's automatically designed to keep you in your little block and be happy with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's true, though.
No.
So
For her, it was
For her,
it was about family.
It is about family, but it's pretty short-sighted and limited to think that you can't like your family if you do math. It's like the shit shoveler girl.
Well, not really.
I understand. I mean, she would speak a different language.
She would, yeah.
And she would have different friends who probably wouldn't associate so well with her family and in the environment that she lives in.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it would be limiting, but the whole way that she's brought up is family needs to like stick together and be together.
Yeah. And
the structure that's going on around here is different. You're supposed to move out of your dad's house and mom's house. You're supposed to get your own house. You're supposed to give your own life. You're supposed to advance yourself. And they're like, so the structures that exist here like encourage that happening by the conflicts, right?
Yeah.
And seems like the structures there don't encourage that same thing, or at least in that area, in that family, right?
Right.
Their family don't get mad at each other or expect them to move out. They like want them to stick around, or what?
Yeah.
They like each other?
I guess so. Yeah.
Interesting.
There were a lot of multi-generational households in the area.
So I was just thinking of it from that cultural perspective of different environments, different countries, different paradigms, different social structures. The conflict part. And I was looking at the conflict part because part of this is related to the split we're going through right now.
In which way? How do you see this being related?
Well, it's clear that it's a very difficult thing to get people who are close together family-wise or married or their children or things like that to split from each other because those bonds are very, very, tight and strong. So how can you get that to happen? Not the only way. The normal or the regular or a functional way, a very effective way, is to create conflict between two
generations.
Between those that are splitting. You're picking a light dark and you're picking a light. There's a very clear choice. And the ones that pick one or the other, they're not just mildly picking it, mostly. They're quite stuck in their pick.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like Trump is a good example of a divider, right?
Oh, yeah, we talked about this when he was being elected.
Or as when he's president, Yeah. So the people that liked Trump, I think he's Jesus from Venus. Which is a inside joke.
Yes, Jesus from Venus, yes.
Trump is Jesus from Venus. If you don't understand it...
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You can ask in the comments. I might explain it. But anyway. And there's the other ones. I think Trump is probably the demon from hell or something. The original prime Satan. I don't know, whatever. But, they're not like mildly one or the other about it.
They're very, very,
very, obviously not everybody.
Right.
I mean, in our household, I don't know if you're for or against Trump. And I really don't care one way or the other if you are or aren't. And I'm not, although Trump was way more funny than the other guy.
Who was the other guy?
Who is the other guy? Oh, Brandon.
Oh,
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon.
More cryptics.
In my opinion, all politicians are the same. They're just puppets. So it doesn't really matter, actually. It's irrelevant who and what they are, what their policies are.
Well, we're in a split, so it matters.
No, not
Yes,
really.
It matters. Because you can observe how the split is orchestrated.
It would be orchestrated this way either way, no matter who is president of what country. It doesn't really matter.
That's my point. You don't pick and put into place a person who's a great waker-upper if you want the sleepers to pick their sleep and stay asleep. You would pick a waker-upper if you wanted like the entire planet to ascend. You would pick a not waker-upper, a divider, to help split.
Yes.
And the same thing with this Cootie Kool-Aid injection.
A Cootie Kool-Aid injection, yes.
Yeah. You're picking something that's very divisive, right? And the more divisive it is, the more conflict it generates, the more likely you are not to like be on the fence about it. You're totally one or the other, I guess, kind of. It makes the splitting happen.
Yes.
But not I think the key for a higher frequency individual is conflict isn't necessary for you to do a split, but if you want to stay asleep, conflict might be necessary to bring you to a split. Maybe?
Yes,
from a
definitely.
lower frequency, lower state of awareness. You can still be high frequency and not very, I guess, expanded awareness.
Right.
In order for you to move to your split, to make a choice, maybe conflict would help, because then you're less likely to go get like cootie Kool-Aid for your husband just because he wants you to.
Right.
You're might get more dug in not doing it because your husband wants you to do it, because he's forcing you to do it. You're not going to get forced to do nothing. I'm just setting up scenarios, you know what I'm saying? So the conflict, generally speaking, we look at conflict as, oh my God, abhorrent, but in the case of a split, conflicts might be what's needed to carry out splits.
Yeah, could be.
Could be. You don't have any opinion about it?
To me, the word conflict can mean several things. One of them is like people fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Two nations going to war. But also, to me, there could be a conflict of emotion, right? Like, I sometimes have conflicting emotions about something. I'm happy about it and I'm sad about it at the same time. I'm conflicted, right? So, to me, the second part, be conflicted about it, is not a low frequency way to be.
Right.
Because we're not omnipotent and there's a lot of information and sometimes we get confused and sometimes we do get mixed signals about things. But the war conflict energy, to me, is a very low frequency one. So I would say that if a person starts going to war with their husband or their wife over something, they're just feeding the low frequency paradigm, right? Rather than not going into that type of energetic fight.
Yeah, well, in this scenario, the husband, for example, is the one going to war about it, and the higher frequency person who's less expanded awareness isn't. They're not going to war against their husband. They're just more dug into their position. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
And so when the splitting happens, it's doing it, It's a little bit like when you got moved out of California.
Yeah.
It's like you're conflicted because you have house and family and
I don't care about the house
car
and my
children and your entire life and your friends and you were situated.
Yep.
And without you could have listened the very first time you got the data, but I don't think so.
Right.
But as the pressure increased, then the decision became unavoidable.
Correct.
And I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get as this creates the situation where the decision is unavoidable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a lot to do about breaking up. Breaking up is hard to do.
It's
even harder to do when you don't not like the person you're breaking up with.
Yes.
It's like, how about we just don't break up, but we'll walk over here for a while. You go over there, I'll go over here.
Yeah, it's harsh, right?
Yeah.
I still don't see the relationship with education and children.
Well, the teenagers staying up all night, creating discord and conflict in their house, so that's what helps them move out of their house. Otherwise, why would they move?
Right, that's true.
Because everything's paid for and their laundry gets done and foods get cooked and you go out, have fun all night, come home. Look, your laundry's done, breakfast is ready. You probably, if you get old enough, you get your own apartment in the house. You don't have to pay no bills. Who knows?
Yes, it is true. So the conflict comes about so the parents kick you out and you don't want to live with your parents because they're pains in the butt.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. So in a bigger sense of our collective split, high frequency and light dark. In other words, I remember that.
Basically, the conflict you're talking about is that people become unpleasant to each other when they choose the different realities.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just unpleasant to be with each other.
Yeah.
In the case of the light dark ones, they don't want to be around you because, you could get them sick since you didn't get no goody Kool-Aid.
Yes.
I mean, clearly they don't want you to be around.
Right.
They want to kick you out of school, fire you from a job, make you stay home, don't go get food and groceries, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And the other side of the bargain, I mean, if it comes down to it, do you want to open a grocery store?
I always wanted a bookstore with a coffee shop in it, and maybe some fashion items, and maybe some magical items. I've always wanted that.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah. It's not a grocery store necessarily, but although sometimes, fruit stores, the fruit stores. I know in Chile and in Spain they have fruit stores where you go in and all they sell is fruits. And that was kind of nice. I like that one. Those ones. I wouldn't mind having one of those.
Okay.
Sorry, were you making a point? I missed it.
Well, the essential point is that the high-frequency people around aren't opening stores or starting schools without some reason.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, trying to motivate a high-frequency person is so freaking hard.
Because they're okay.
They're okay with everything.
School, no school, I don't care.
Yeah,
go to school, I don't care. It's all right. I mean, we'll be fine. I can read a book.
Yeah.
I can read a book too.
A job. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah.
We could do processing.
I can still work with those demons. It's fine. I've done it all my life. I'm used to it.
See, that's my point. That's part of what the orchestrations bring about when they're necessary.
Well, the other day when we went to the store and we got kicked out of the store because we had Pee-Pee with us.
Yeah, that was quite hilarious.
Because we shouldn't be hanging around in the store. We should be in and out real fast. We shouldn't be hanging out in it. And we were. Even though
we enjoyed our time getting
trinkets.
Tea thingy.
Trinkets.
And we did, remember though, we got kicked out of the store.
We did.
But we got everything that we came there for.
And more.
And then we went to check out. We got you don't have to, you have to leave, but you don't have to leave mad.
Right.
So the checkout lady saw our little, it was an English sugar bowl, so made in England, imported. It's just a beautiful little thing. And the price tag doesn't work. She says, how about $2.99?
Yeah. She said, can you go and see the price? And I said that was the last one, because it was the very last one.
Yeah.
She said, and I said, you can put it back. It's fine. And she looked at us, smiled big, and says, how about $2.99?
How about $2.99?
I said, that sounds great.
That sounds fine. Thank you. So we had to leave, but we didn't have to leave mad.
Right. Because that was certainly more than $2.99.
Way more.
Mm-hmm. And then she said, I would feel bad charging you less than that, but I'm sure that
No,
it's
she
way
said
more.
I would.
That's what she said.
Yeah. But it was a thing that we halfway home started to feel the scratchiness in the throat, a little bit of headache, remember the shedding.
The electronic feels or whatever.
If they hadn't have told us, hey, you guys, get their dog out of here.
Yeah. We've
been to that store 10,000 times with Bibi. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But this guy cared.
Oh, he cared a lot.
He
she was in my sweater too, inside my jacket.
She wasn't even walking around. It was
just
like hiding with just
face.
her head poking out.
Yeah.
But we would have been another really hour there.
Yeah.
Probably looking down every single aisle. Because Forks they have patisseries from France.
Yeah,
they have
interesting stuff.
They have all kinds of good stuff. Some shoes, boots, socks, chocolates, really nice millionaires, yummy stuff. And interesting steaks cut really, really thin. So they got all the stuff.
And we looked at the energy, and when we looked at the energy was, really, you shouldn't hang out in the negative structures. And they're very clear which are their structures. Yeah. Which are their structures is very clear. And you shouldn't be hanging out in them.
Yeah, so we didn't leave mad, but we did leave.
Yeah.
Although it was a little hard. It was a little hard, honestly. When I was driving, I was looking at, who am I going to focus my energy of attention on? The
nasty guy?
Short, bald, nasty guy who's mad at us because, well, literally he was
double masked.
Nose to chin, wholly masked, when half the store ain't. And he's mad at us because we're not wearing masks, but he can't say nothing about that.
Right.
But he can say something about the dog.
Yes.
But am I going to focus my attention on him and carry that boiling inside? Or the young lady who checked us out with a giant smile and so happy to see all of it. Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And how about $2.99? Does that seem fine?
Exactly.
Who are you going to look at? Who are you going to attention on? Yeah.
Exactly.
It was still hard
Good
to
choice.
dismiss the
It's a
crabby
body,
boy.
yeah, because it's a body shock, when you get assaulted like that. It's a body shock. It's just, comfort your body and you're going to be just fine.
And maybe focus more on the other than the...
I was kind of, yeah, you were right, because I knew halfway down looking at all the trinkets that I relaxed and I thought, gosh, it doesn't feel, my body doesn't feel well in the store. But then I decided to ignore it because we hadn't been to a store for such a long time.
And there were so many cool trinkets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. It's just nice to, when you have that experience, you're right, hug your body a little bit, process a bit of the righteousness. That's what was fired up in me. Yeah. I was pretty fired up a little bit.
Yes, you were.
And then focus on a different energy.
Yeah.
That should help stabilize you.
Mm-hmm.
You're human.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're in a war zone. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So what do you do with it later? You don't need to, what's the word? Dwell.
Dwell on it.
Don't dwell on it.
You understand it.
Process and reshift.
Yeah, it's a pattern on the planet. We've talked about it for years now. When those mandated vaccines were necessary for sending children to school in California, I laughed when non-vaccinated awake people were saying, "No, it's not fair. We need to send our children to school, right? What are we gonna do? How can we go to work if our kids are at home?" And I was like, "Really, dudes? It's like you shouldn't be sending your kids to those schools. Those are dark paradigm schools. Why send them there? They're
Why are you fighting so hard to get them to stay there?
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
You need all of these little nudges to get them out of there.
Out of there. And now
you're
they're
trying
saying,
to
you're not
force them.
welcome here. You're not welcome here.
Yeah.
The kids we want here are vaccinated, indoctrinated, brainwashed, and full of drugs. Like all the drugs they give them so they can sit quietly in school. Right? Children sitting quietly. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. So, yeah. So I was like, look, start new structures for education and work and everything, because really we need to step out of those other ones. And that was just a reminder, you shouldn't be there. And not just a reminder from the human collective represented by that guy, but us also. We went in there with a dog and we actually know that they don't like dogs. We've had that same situation in the past when Romeo was a baby and some woman came over and forced us out, because she was, and she tried to, and says, well, he's a service dog. And then she was all, oh, okay, cool. And she walked away, but it wasn't new or anything. We knew that it was a conflicting area to bring a dog, So it's like we knew, so we orchestrated a situation that told us, don't stay in that store. And really, it's not a healthy thing to stay around people who've received the cootie jabs, whatever.
Cootie Kool-Aid, honey.
Or the cootie Kool-Aid, because it's already even in there. Like I said before, in the websites, it talks about the side effects of shedding,
Yeah. There's the energetic side of it too, I think. Mm-hmm. Not me.
Ding.
Can't be me dinging.
Ding.
I put mine on moon, honey.
Oh, good.
Says Navish silenced.
Mm.
Anyways. I think, so with the shedding, there's the energetic component of it, which I think we are dealing with the silver.
Yes.
The silver colloidal that makes a yellow, although I'm sure there's other ones that work too. Just try them. And putting into a spray like perfume or something, an atomizer or a little squirt bottle.
Squirt bottle. Like an atomizer, not a squirt.
Atomizer,
you don't want to squirt it in your face.
It's all over your head, around your neck, and your face, and maybe
spray
gargle
bottle.
it if your throat's feeling it. That helps. Chug a tea, and we're using some dandelion tea. That tastes good and helps too. It seems to support it. The Brown's gas, Aquacure. Mm-hmm. That's obviously helps a lot. The headaches and everything else.
That's been life-changing for me.
Life-changing,
the Aquacure.
And I ordered some NAC to try that, which I can't tell you what it says or how it is or what it is. I just heard from one of my friends It works good. Take it for 3 days, 1,000 milligrams, and then it gets rid of those spikies. And, I'm willing to try things out to make sure I have a full repertoire. And today we got our UV A and B lights, reptile lights, to go with our IR low frequency lights. So we got like some heavy dose of sunshine.
Boys and girls, this is what it feels. This is what it's like to live with a healer. Right? There's a modern shaman healer lineage. There's like tons of, and they work. What can I tell you? It works.
Yeah, we just want to have a full toolkit.
Toolkit of recovery.
Because everybody's body is different, and some things they respond to better than others.
Correct.
But, you got to have them to test them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. So too much time spent from no exposure to full exposure is harder on your body than a little bit is like cumulative.
Yeah.
So you don't feel the reaction quite so severe if it's a little bit at a time and it's cumulative. But at some point that cumulative will add up.
Right.
And you'll have to have a big flush of some kind to
and
get
that's
rid of
what
all
a flu
that
looks
toxic
like.
stuff. Right. So mitigating that in the meantime, if you find yourself in an area you're constantly surrounded by light dark paradigm cootie juicers.
Wi-Fi's, and the juicers ones.
Right. Then you should be giving some consideration to flushing and stopping those from accumulating.
Yes.
And do some research. How do I flush this stuff? Find some answers. Try them out. See what works.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't ignore it. No reason to be uncomfortable if you don't have to be. Which was an interesting thing, bringing us to our next bit.
Yes.
Do you remember what happened just a couple of days ago? We were just like driving down the road, came home, parked our truck, came in our house and went to bed. Woke up in the morning and there was like not anymore, but there used to be 1 millimeter water in our garage. Yes. It flooded our garage. Yeah, 1 whole millimeter. Yeah. But a half a mile down the road either way, it was literally and still for 2 days later was water over your head. Yeah. All the way on this whole West Coast area.
We looked at one of the riverbanks where the river had come up and was part of the fields and the road. And that bank was about 15 to 20 feet, remember?
Yeah, 20 feet down to the water where it is today, which is only 2 days later. Yeah. So it's still flooded. It's just receded 15, 20 feet from the bank. And it was 5 or 10 feet higher than that. It was completely over the fences. We've seen this stuff. Crazy. That was the most I've ever seen. Actually, the measure device they used to measure that river measured a level of water they haven't ever measured it at since they've been measuring.
Wow. And I bet they started a long time ago.
Probably. I didn't ask. But needless to say, it was an extraordinary...
A mile down this road, both ways, we were
at a lake. We were 15 miles halfway between the ocean and Lake Ozette.
And
right in smack and dab in the middle. And we can go a mile either way.
Yeah. And usually our creek floods.
Well, yeah, usually we can get up to knee deep in the garage.
Yeah, knee deep in the garage twice
normal
now,
flood
in the past 6 years. Twice. Yeah. Not this time.
1 millimeter is nothing.
Bizarre. It was
barely
really,
left its
really
banks.
Bizarre. But also, our friends, Kara and Ashley, their house, behind their house is the Holco River, which flooded.
That was at the record flood.
That was the one that had 20 feet.
That's the one at the record over.
They're literally, their backyard ends on the river.
Yeah,
right?
They're literally right on the river.
Right on the river. And
no water come in.
They didn't have any water come in. On the other side, however...
That's different.
It was...
intense.
Like, huge.
Cars broken.
Huge,
Yeah, all that stuff.
Huge. So it's like, guy loves this.
Nice. Nice support.
Yeah.
Where our power was out for a couple of days, but... I mean,
we didn't even feel it because we were
prepared for that. We have our generator, just turned it on. We had plenty of gas stored up. Yeah. We only use 5 gallons anyway, and we have our solar batteries coming like Saturday. We didn't have it in place, but if that had been here, we wouldn't even burned any gas.
Exactly, yeah.
And our water runs off of our generator and our solar power battery thing now, so We got water for days. In town, just down the street from us.
That's 20 minutes from here.
20 minutes from here, the entire town, Clallam Bay and CQ, no water.
Yeah, they don't have any water.
They had a landslide and it washed out the water
pipe.
main. Now they got no water.
Yeah. And they don't know when it's going to come back.
Because they can't even get the landslide dug out yet because it's 20 feet tall and half a mile wide.
Mm-hmm. And they have, they're giving people, they're saying, bring your containers to the gym, the school gym, and we're going to fill
some water there.
And I'm not sure if they're going to need a card before they get in or not. You know,
they could add those
They
things.
didn't say it because I received a call, an automated call, because we're in the Clallam Bay area.
Uh-huh.
And I received a call, and it said, like they're going to bring your containers, and we don't know how long it's going to be. Literally, we don't know. So, but that's just drinking water that they can get in a tub, right? And making in a container. So what about showers? You know, it's like,
yeah. And our village at Nia Bay, we got cut off. It was even in the Seattle paper. Cut off from everywhere. No fuel can come in a truck. No food can come in anyway. And no food, fuel, medicines, and nothing. They had electricity still.
They did? Wow.
But if you went to the store, guess what was in the store?
Nothing.
No bread, no milk, no eggs, no food.
Yeah.
Just, canned stuff.
Right. And that probably went fast.
We're talking about one night of rain.
I know.
Did that.
I know. One night
of rain. No
water,
no electricity, no food.
Supplies, no medicine,
So if you weren't prepared, it would have been traumatic.
You felt it, yeah.
If you were prepared like we are, and we have been telling everyone.
People,
I mean, I was just as happy as a clam sitting here eating iced tea.
We had a party.
Drinking some tea, had hot water, take a shower if you want. Yeah. So
we literally had a party.
And we did invite people over to have a party with us.
Yes, we did.
Except for nobody could come. No way to get through here. So we had a private party with our dogs and our cats.
Yeah, but it's like these weather things are very interesting to me. Because we had Texas last year that froze up and they cut all the fuel to it and people died there, And one of the things that fascinated me about that night with the weather and the rain and everything, that the roads and the locations where the roads were broken, it was almost strategic, you know? I mean, if it wasn't strategic, it looked strategic. It looked like it would. I mean, it would have been. They were the perfect places to completely cut off Nia Bay and Clallam Bay. And it was just really, really amazing.
Really amazing. It felt like a trial for me.
Yeah, like a trial. What about Canada?
You're going to be fine. Canada too, Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver.
Which is a city same size or bigger than Seattle, and a giant port like Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Millions of people in there. And they had the same thing happen to them. Their freeways and the railways were all cut off by massive slides.
Yeah.
Massive, like
massive
oh my God, that's like 1,000 dump truck loads to try and fill that hole back up.
1,000.
So, big impacts from very, 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 honestly, people.
It was just a night.
Rain in Canada.
And rain
BC,
in the rainforest.
British Columbia. Rain in British Columbia, rain in Nia Bay.
This is a rainforest.
We get rain like
crazy
3 months straight.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
Right.
And one night, we got that.
Yeah, that was really suspicious to me.
Something's
very suspect.
fishy about that. But
very fishy.
Very fishy. You have to look into that because that kind of reminds me of one of the things that you promised we would talk about this episode.
Oh, yeah?
The November-December woo.
Ooh, the woo-woo.
The woo-woo. What's happening November, December? What should be like? I guess, stand by. Here comes the rain. Or what?
Here comes the rain again. Something.
Baby, there.
Falling on my head like a new emotion.
Eurythmics.
Boom, boom, boom.
That we're not going to have any issue with copyright violation after that.
I don't think so.
I don't think iTunes is
nobody will recognize it.
From that.
La 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 la. So yes.
Before you say this, There's absolutely nothing here. And everything is proof of it.
I just love that one. Where did you get that one from?
Well, a guy... Okay, so I was reading a thing.
You were reading a thing.
And in the comments of it... I was at Dr. Cowan. One of those live stream.
Oh, the live stream.
Subscribe Star things. I think it was one of Dr. Cowan's. It might have been somebody else, but I think it was his. And in the comments, one of the persons commented that they were really interested to talk to about the energetic significances of whatever he was talking about, something like that. So it was like when I'm reading the comments, usually they're like all I me myself stuff.
Right.
Like, I have a sore toe. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I got COVID. Now what virus has got me? And you're like, Dr. Cowan's like, God, have you been listening at all?
Yeah. Why are you in this call?
Why are you even in this call? And then this question was interesting because it wasn't about him, and it was interesting because it's about kind of stuff that we like, woo stuff.
Yeah. So
I followed to find out who he was. And he is a truck driver, Canadian truck driver. He got hit by a cosmic 2x4 driving down the road. Actually, he consumed vast quantities of non-dual literature and meditated quite a lot. And as he was driving down the freeway, contemplating his navel, or whatever non-dualists do, he got hit by a cosmic 2x4. So he was giving a talk, and I watched his talk for a while, and most of his talk was him laughing uncontrollably because it was so hilarious. People would be asking him questions about stuff. It's like,
and he found them very funny.
He found the people, the very idea that there's a question about nothing and everything is hilarious.
Right.
Why? I don't know. It's just when you're in that giggle state. He was in a giggle state of expanded. He's almost high, you know?
Yeah.
He couldn't stop laughing. So his favorite quote in the entire world was, "There's absolutely nothing here, and everything is proof of it," by Lee Snyder.
Okay. So
when I heard that, I pretty much started laughing too. It's like, I don't understand that. I'm going to have to ask Inelia. What the fuck does this mean? Because I think I know what it means, but I do know the non-dual community talks about things like this all the time, and they get a lot of pleasure out of it.
Yes.
But it's almost nonsensical, and maybe that's why it's fun to, think about.
Yeah, that's why it's funny. Yeah.
So, what do you think?
I think that I prefer to stick with things that are practical and people can use. And even though that statement is true... No! There's no viruses and nothing's here because everything that's here is proof. Oh my God. Yeah, you could use it in that very well. You could use it with that very, very well. All the proof that you have points to the fact that there's nothing there.
That is true, because when you dig into it, you see there is actually nothing there. Yeah. Everything here is proof there's nothing here. I was shocked to find out that they've known about this noviruses since the 1910s or whatever, I was talking about everything, not just viruses. Okay. Because remember, when you look at when you dig into the physical matter, you find that it's made out of something that is mostly 99.9% of nothing. Nothing does not exist, actually, honey. Yeah, but it's mostly that. No. It's mostly doesn't exist, so it is mostly that. See, it makes perfect sense. Nothing exists, honey. Oh, well, try and wrap your mind about that, everyone. So with that introduction, tell me about the November woo. Wow. Well, that's put a flavor to it, hasn't it? The way we're going to look at it. It flavored it, yes. November, December. November. Remember the 5th of this November. November, well, that's about Guy Hawkes, Irishman who tried to blow up Parliament, and they caught him and burned him up in a bonfire. Well, that November 5th is well past. Yeah. So I thought what we could do is draw a card. Oh, really? Yeah, but the cards is very far away from us. Not too far from me. No? Do you think you can reach it? I certainly can. Okay. I've got plenty enough string. You've got powers. You've got powers. See? I got skills. Good. You got skills.
You got it from the other side of the room. All right, so we're going to do a card.
Good idea.
That will talk to us about. What do you want to do? November 1st and then December, or
November's
November
almost
and
over.
December?
It's going to be Thanksgiving and December and Thanksgiving, because this is going to come out on Monday.
Okay.
And when is Thanksgiving anyway?
It's the 3rd.
It's the next weekend? Or this weekend?
Oh, I don't know.
Or I don't know when it is anyway.
I never even grew up with it. You're asking the wrong person.
We just want to eat turkey and have pie, okay?
Yes.
It says it's the 25th, so it'll be next week. Today's the 18th that we're recording. And this weekend, it'll come out on the 22nd. So, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. That many days until Turkey Day for anybody who likes Turkey Day. So this car will be
November or November, December?
Thanksgiving and, well, let's just say Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Okay. So, November, December.
Well, I want to...
The Western way to say it.
Yeah, from Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Okay. Actually, it's going to be November, December.
Exactly.
All right, so these cards are connected that I'm using. It's called Forest of Enchantment by Linnea Weatherstone and Miraila Allwood. Lovely names.
They're my Gaia cards.
Yeah, they're Larry's Gaia cards, and they're connected to Gaia. So we're asking Gaia about insights and advice regarding November and December.
Thanksgiving to Christmas.
I was still looking at the whole ET equation. I was hoping they would use it, but kind of not. One of those conflicting energies that I have. I did, but I didn't.
You wanted it,
because
but
I
you didn't,
knew
'cause you got
that
bored with the one we're having. We want to have something different.
Well, the ETs, extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial, all these exist. There's no maybes about it. But I've always said, if disclosure comes from the government, then it's not a good thing.
It's
because it's not actually disclosure, it's just another invisible or visible made-up enemy. And I remember even when I was a kid and people say, oh no, aliens are going to invade our planet and they're going to destroy us. And I would say, are you freaking kidding me? Aliens have been around forever and they have technologies that could take over our planet a long time ago. And if they wanted to kill us, it would go and we'd all be gone, right? If that was the power that they contain. So no, there's not going to be an alien invasion, period.
Not according to the movie I'm watching.
Well,
it's called Invasion.
Yeah.
By the Black Goo.
Yeah. But yeah, so the human society has been tried to be programmed into believing that alien enemy thing, invasion, is real and true and gonna happen. This is all about that. Anyways, well, let's do the November-December thing.
Okay.
I know I put in a lot of alien energy into it, but,
We can always hope.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. All right, got it. And our card... Oh, it's one of Larry's cards. And I can't read because I don't have my glasses. You'll have to read it, honey.
This is the Forest Lord.
The Forest Lord.
It's a interesting looking fella with no shirt on, and it's not a dress, it's a blanket. A blanket over his,
his
no
privates.
clothes private.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has a wild boar with giant tusks next to him. And he has horns on himself made out of holly.
Holly.
Yeah. And he has a really nice, what do you call this? Talisman around his neck. It's a little baggie with treasures in it.
Yeah.
He's the Forest Lord. So when I think of October and November and I look at this card...
No, it's November, December.
Yeah, when I look at November and December and you look at this card, it feels to me like that... Like, if I were to be, like, what's the word? If I were to be... wanting a guide to show me secure, safe, and not even secure, safe, but cared for. If I wanted a forest guide, yeah, he's a forest guide. I mean, there's no worry about food. There's no worry about shelter. There's no worry about temperature. I mean, it makes you feel you're secure, you're safe.
Yeah, it's like a father energy almost, a divine father energy.
Divine Father, right? That sounds right.
The divine father energy, yeah.
Do you want me to read it? Can you?
Yeah, you better read it. I don't have my glasses.
Okay, the Forest Lord. Yeah. Power from within. Virility, natural leadership, nobility of character, fatherhood, dominion, and territorial command. Like, hold your area, hold your space.
Yeah.
All who pass through the enchanted forest must pay homage to the Forest Lord, for everything that lives and breathes is under his dominion, from the mightiest giant to the smallest shrew. He is the essence of wild male energy kept under control, most of the time. His is the virile rush of the stag and the immovable stance of the bear. His most trusted companion is the chieftain of all the boars. The boar is the fiercest creature in the woods. Approach the Forest Lord respectfully, but have no fear. He is the affectionate father, as well as the commanding ruler. He is masterful, but never a bully, and he has earned the love and loyalty of those within his care. The Forest Lord represents the duties that come with great power, protecting his subjects, defending their freedom, and safeguarding their sanctuary. Leadership as a privilege. Authority over others wielded appropriately and not abused. Sovereignty comes from within and doesn't need to be insisted upon. The Forest Lord's confidence comes from staying true to his noble nature. The holly and the oak on his antlers represent the eternal cycle of life renewing itself. Oak rules the light half of the year, holly rules the dark. Interesting.
Very nice. And I think that the advice here is to actually embody this energy.
Right. That's what I see completely. It's like people will come to you. You embody that pure heart. You embody that sovereignty. You embody that
divine father.
Divine masculine father. Certainty. I mean, you're not afraid.
Right. You're no longer a child. Yeah, you're this. And this is good.
Are this.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Great advice for November and December.
We'll put a picture up in the Talk With Me Now, or where?
We could do it on the Inelia Benz. Yeah, we can do definitely on those and have very interesting conversations with everybody there.
All right.
But we can also put it on Talk With Me Now for individuals who haven't joined the tribe yet. Okay.
Sounds good. So anyway, you can find it, take a look at it. It feels very, powerful and secure. It's kind of like our last few days.
Yeah.
Powerful and secure. And anyone of our tribe, you're welcome. You're cared for. You're care.
Yeah.
You have nothing to worry of.
Yep. You care for others and they care for you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Do you feel complete, darling?
I think that is as complete as there ever was.
Okay, so a couple of little announcements and updates before we log out.
All right.
One of them is I'd like to thank Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Dan.
He had a very interesting birthday.
Trick-or-treater.
A witch's birthday card.
Trick-or-treat.
Perfect. I was so perfect. And the funny thing, I went to the mailbox to get the mail, and I had a little thingy in there, and I grabbed
a little thingy, which is a sign saying
you need to go to the post office to get a mail and sign for it, right? So in Nia Bay we have
a post lady who's not very friendly.
She's not. Let's just say she's going to continue in the light dark paradigm. She likes that quite a lot.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
Yeah. Her favorite present is a complaint to the postmaster.
Yes.
She likes those much, very, very, very much. She works really hard to get them.
Yeah.
And she can have a whole village sending them.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
But she likes you plenty fine.
Oh, she likes me, yes.
She's just very, very
strange.
stern, rude. I don't know how she's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But she's nice to you, so
She's...
I give her a pass for that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I went in to get the letter, and the postmaster lady said, "We sent that back." And I looked at it. I was like, curious. How long was it here? Because she walked away after she said that. She said, it's been sent back. And I thought, oh well, whoever it was from, I hope they send it again. And then I went to leave, and then I was like, wait a minute, I think I want to have a little bit of different reality here. So I felt this little weeble wobble, you know, basically
swap your reality.
Swap my reality. I want to have a different outcome. I want the letter to be here. And so I pulled the door open and closed again, and it dinged. We're in a small post office. It's just me and one other person, and that other person is the postmaster. Yes. But they still left. Right. So dung comes back, and I asked, how long ago did it come? She said, well, we only hold things for 10 days, and let me look. She looked. It got here 4 days ago. I said, So I guess, she said, well, maybe it's still here then. Let me look again. So she went for a look again. And he says, oh, it's a letter, not a package. Here it is right here. It was right where they always are. She had walked literally to it and said it's not here. Right. But it was. Yeah.
That's a great shift in timeline, because there was a very beautiful jokey card and a really nice donation in it that's going to help us out through the winter. So
thanks a million, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah.
And I love that. Happy birthday?
It was a happy birthday card, but it was the trick-or-treat card
because
from
Halloween.
a witch.
Halloween is birthdays for witches.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, and what else?
Oh, yeah. So the other little details. We're going to be implementing a waiting list for joining Walk With Me Now. If you want to skip the waiting list and join right away, you better do it, because that's getting implemented very soon. And there's also the novel, The Earth Files, which is the second novel in the Return series. I was working on the
final
draft today. So the plan is to release it for Christmas, or at least sometime in December, end of December. Hopefully not January, but yeah, it will happen soon. It depends how fast I can get this done. So I just wanted to let everybody know that's coming very soon. It's an extremely interesting and cool novel. And if you want to read it right away, you can go to Walk With Me Now. You can actually read the first draft. It's at Walk With Me Now. So yeah, those are my announcements. Did I forget anything?
Well, when you say you're implementing a waitlist for Walk With Me Now, it might be good to expand on it a little bit. Do you feel like you want to now, or do you want to wait until things are more set in place for that?
Well, the details are that we're implementing several items within Walk With Me Now that makes it more supportive for individuals to start. Gave them a more immersion and introduction in a gentler way, more guided way to go in, because it's not just a forum. There's how many years since 2014, and it's 2021, all those years of material there. Huh. There's so much material, and not just courses and classes, but a lot of information, a lot of live calls. So it can be a little bit overwhelming, but also our numbers are growing. So we want to make sure that everybody makes that connection, right? A deep connection. That is what we're all about. The human collective, right? It's about connection. And because a lot of us are lone wolves, sometimes we need a little more hunting than other people.
Yeah, we need a little help with the whole connection thing. Yeah. It's I'll try and connect. Hey, hello, anybody there? And nobody answers. That's good. Yeah. Back to the closet. Thank you, guys. That was nice connecting. See you later.
Yeah. So
generate a or encourage
facilitate
and facilitate
that connection that we need in this new paradigm.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a learning process. We're getting feedback from our members. We're going to be exploring on the whole thing and getting people to be buddy systems for the new groups that come in. So yeah, we decided that a waiting list would be really good.
And
also, in my opinion, right, in my personal opinion, a person who is prepared to go on a waiting list to get into Walk With Me Now, and then a month later when they do get in, they're still wanting to get into Walk With Me Now, it's a better investment for me personally to spend time with that person because they're committed, while a person who's like instant gratification and they just came in from a whim, they usually leave right away or within a month.
They're scratch itched or whatever, and they're done.
Yeah, their FOMO's gone, and it's like, and I think a month will filter.
A little bit of weight.
Yeah.
And also group those people who gather together.
Who
together,
have that
there'll
energy,
be
exactly.
a handful of people who can join
together at the same time.
Make their connection together at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. That'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. And so you won't be entering into the thing with hundreds of people around you who are they must be way more advanced than you, huh? You'll be with your peer group.
Yeah.
A peer group, and you'll have connections and you'll know each other. And it'll be nice to get that connection fostered.
Exactly. So we're playing with different energies. We're playing with different methods and methodologies to make it easier for all of us to learn how to function as a human collective in the new paradigm. And this is what, to me, Walk With Me Now is. Gotcha.
Plus, actually, if you're like having the itch and you're thinking about it, Secret Santa starts this week.
Yes, it does.
So if you're interested in getting a Secret Santa gift, you better sign up fast.
Yes.
The deadline's approaching.
Yeah. All right. I'm complete.
Okay. I love you, honey.
I love you too, darling.